What's up, y'all? Welcome back to El3vation Radio Podcast, you guys. As y'all noticed, yes, I am doing 2 interviews, and you guys are going to watch both of them because I said so. Yes, I'm doing 2 interviews in one day. Well, within the same hour or whatever. So we got Perkz at Amenity joining us today. Just hit the request button and I got you. So yeah, like I said, please look up this interview on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you podcast, and support me. Support the El3vation Radio Podcast, y'all, and support the artists that I'm interviewing because they're great artists. Hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, big dog?
How you doing?
Always good, brother. Always good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great, actually. I'm glad that you joined into this interview, man.
I appreciate it, big dog. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? I appreciate you joining in on this podcast, bro.
I love doing this shit. I like the simple conversation, and hey, I'm trying to build a brand just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you letting me come up here, bro. That means a lot to me.
Yes, definitely, man. We're supporting each other. Let's look at it that way. Yes. So we're gonna start with a few simple questions, and then we're gonna get into the more complex stuff as the interview goes by. So first, I just want to ask you, what's the thing you love the most about performing?
Performing?
Yeah, performing.
I like the energy and the ability to show off what I can do and the way the crowd reacts to it. Like, whether it be positive or negative, like, regardless, as an artist, you're going to have to perform. So why not get good at it? You know what I'm saying? Why not pay attention to the fine tuning and details?
Exactly. So, do you consider yourself are you a perfectionist or something? Because you mentioned details, so.
Yeah, I just try to do what I love to do at an elite level. I try to just be the best
elite.
I can.
Okay.
At it. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z said, "Don't be good, be great," and I took that literally.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So, do you listen to a lot of Jay-Z?
Yeah, I got the Black Album and the Blueprint 1 on my wall right here. I'm a big Jay fan.
Okay, the Black Album, that's a classic, man. So,
yeah, 100%.
So that's your favorite album. I'm guessing that's your favorite Jay-Z album.
It's top 3. My favorite, surprisingly, is the Magna Carta album. That's my favorite Jay-Z album.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I also want to get more into your influences as we go on into the interview. But right now, I just want to start with, how you grew up in your childhood. So, can you tell me more about your upbringing, man?
Yeah. So, I'm originally from East Phoenix, like the Perry Park area. Okay. And I moved around a lot from Mesa, Tempe, for my younger years. My mom's and single mother, and we moved around a lot. And then I grew up in the foster care system. Like most of my 12 to 18, I was in the foster care system for most of my life, the shit that mattered.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And my stepbrother's in the chat right now, too. I stayed with him for a little bit before I went to the foster care system. That's my dog, too. Shout out Brandon. But, thereon, I got... and then that's just kind of how it started, you know what I'm saying? Just that from moving around, I learned a lot, especially about the system and how shit works. And, I learned to be really independent. So that was one of the good things about it.
Okay. So, when it comes down to, going through the foster care system and things like that. So, to me, what is one of the biggest lessons you've learned from being in that, being in the foster care?
Own your shit. That was my biggest thing. Everything that I have, I own. I put in the work to get it. One of the biggest things that I learned was how to be independent and how to move right and correctly by yourself and not have to rely on anybody. You know what I'm saying? It takes a team to get to where you want to be regardless. But if your shit's handled, you can handle the shit around you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So going from the foster care and going from the childhood. So how did you get into rhyming? How did you get into, spitting bars?
Music I've always been a hip hop head since I was young. I remember my first real hip hop experience was I remember I was in a good place for a little bit. My mom had a little bit of bread coming in and stuff. And I remember my mom had bought a Chrysler 300. I was 8, 9 years old. And I remember her just popping in Get Rich or Die Trying. And I remember hearing Many Men, bro. And I was I just remember Many Men was dead upon me. I just remember hearing that. and just being like, yo, what the fuck is this? This is so great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Right.
remember how you hear that one of those records that just really stand out to you? That like, I don't know what
Yes.
this is, but this shit is raw. Like, I just connected with to it, and meant like just like everything. Like, and my mom was really into hip hop too. Like, I would just remember her bumping like, you know, where we live in a time where it would be 50 or M or like D12 or J would be on, or like, you know, I remember my mom bought the Watch the Throne album the minute it came out, and like I was like, that's how I really got introduced to like Ye and Jay, like super early on. You know what I'm saying? Like all that, and like just like music's always been a big part of my life. But I've been rapping for a minute. Like I have been rapping for like 5 years probably. I'm 22, so I'm still super young.
Okay.
And like I feel like within the last 2.5 years, I felt like I was good enough to put shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like I like shout out my boy Dev Cosmic. He was like, yo, you got something, bro. Like you should try this out. You know what I'm saying? And shout out my boy Gerardo too, my boy Combat. He was the first one to like record me. Just a freestyle. We was just fucking with it, you know? And he was like, yo, like you got something, like you should really try to pursue this. And like the people around me was like, yo, for you not really taking this too seriously and to be as nice as you are at it, like you obviously care about this shit. You should try it. You know what I'm saying? And eventually I put my first record out. It's called Infectious Flows. To be honest, it was my first work. It was cool, but like I look back at it like that shit was trash, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now like I can look and like if you go through my SoundCloud from my first shit to the most recent shit I posted, you like, yo, he's grown a lot in terms of like his artistry.
Yes, that tends to happen. You know what I mean? Especially when when you look at the way that you were spitting when you first came out to now, like because a lot of people do that. And sometimes you're not whack. You just improve from where you were. Sometimes you just go from good to great. You know what I mean?
I think artists in general try to take themselves too seriously too early.
Right.
Everybody needs time to develop at their craft, no matter who it may be or who it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that you should continuously work on your craft. Like the J's, the M's, the Nas's, the Tories, the Jadakisses, the Cassidys. When it comes to bars, like those dudes worked on that shit. They studied the game. The King Loses. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my biggest thing. Like there was like a 6-month period where I didn't put out any music, like late last year.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was just studying the game. I learned everything I possibly could about it. Like whether it would be bars, whether it would be the business side of things. I used to watch Drink Champs for hours. I used to work at Chili's, bro, and I used to put my headphones in and I would listen to Drink Champs and just all kinds of podcasts to try to learn the business side of things and how shit worked. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't understand the business side of things, you can't be in tune with the creative process, because that's where the shit matters as well. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Wait, hold up. You say you worked at Chili's.
I
you had headphones in? How did you get away with that with all them customers and stuff you be talking to?
Well, I used to be a dishwasher, bro, so I was in the back, and what I'm saying? I would just, leave me the fuck alone. Let me do my job. I don't want to be here. Y'all don't want to be here. Let me do my thing and get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, bro. I definitely get it, man. So, I want to bring up a couple quotes from one of your songs, if you don't mind. Desert Demon.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said I'm a hothead with a mouth. Like, is that true? Like, is that something from your life, like, that you are still working on this anger?
I was a real angry kid growing up. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Shit was rough always. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I always envied other kids because they had shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was always a hothead. Like, I wasn't gonna let nobody talk to me no type of way at all. You know what I'm saying? I've always, like, I just wasn't gonna take no shit. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, I was just from school to school to everything. You know, my home life wasn't really that great, so it was like I was just angry. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know how to express it yet. It's that simple.
Okay. So
I used to fight a lot. I used to just get in trouble a lot and shit. But like as I got older, I grew. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to control that and understand where it came from and work on it.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I'm glad that you did that, because there's a difference between getting into a fight as a kid and getting into a fight as an adult. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Get into a fight as a
kid, you're going to get shot. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Right, exactly, man. Like getting into a fight as a kid, the worst you're gonna get is suspended from school. Get into a fight as an adult, you can get yourself killed. You can get yourself, in jail for a really long
Yeah,
time.
I
So I'm
did,
glad that you learned that.
and that's where it kind of like it transitioned. I did a little bit of time when I was younger, just from being hot-headed and fighting my pops and everything else, and just everything. And I like when I was 16, I was like, dog, I can do more than this. I'm smart. I ain't dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like something clicked in my head that said, yo, like you need to get your shit together, dog.
I'm glad that it clicked in when you were 16, because a lot of people, you said you're 22, so some people,
Yeah.
it's 25, 26 before that clicks in. You know what I mean?
I think there's multiple things that play into it. I think that one, the people the position that you're in and the people around you, and two, you gotta want it at the end of the day. Because if you don't want it, don't waste your fucking time. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Yes, you definitely have to want it. You know what I mean? Because, a lot of people went to their grave. Like I said, they died in their ways. So, I always said that there's usually three types of people. There's people that, when it comes down to learning a lesson, there's usually people that learn the easy way, like they can be talked out of things. There's people that learn the hard way, like stuff has to happen to them. And then there's just people who just don't learn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I had to learn the hard way for sure. I was a stubborn kid, yo. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? I got no problem admitting it because I'm doing good now. That shit, everything I went through made me the person I am today. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just real.
Okay. So, like, I want to ask you, you said that you've been through a lot of stuff. So, like, have you had to ignore any temptation, you know what I mean, like, in your adult life when it comes down to, like, diving back into, like, an old way of living?
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, pretty recently, actually. I just, like, pretty recently, I never really had a problem with drugs or anything like that. That wasn't really my thing. My thing was, like, I always felt like I had something to prove. I always felt like that. So it was like, someone talks to me crazy, motherfucker, what's up? You know what I'm saying? That would be my first reaction. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm older, I'm like, all right, where is this stemming from? Does he really not like me, or does he having a bad day and he's taking it out on me? Like, what really matters to me? You know what I'm saying? Because people can talk all they want, you know what I'm saying? But the minute you put your hands on me, it's a wrap, bro. Every fuck I gave is gone,
That's right. At least at least you're still in the mindset of, don't put your hands on me or I have to defend myself. But at the same time, I'm glad that, you're seeing, you have more empathy when it comes down to people and when they're, yelling and shouting and when they're calling you different names, because usually no, I wouldn't even say usually. I say always. When a person is calling you certain names and when a person's trying to put you down, that means that they're going through something and that there's something wrong with them, because that's called projecting. That's exactly what they're doing, and they're trying to project their hurt onto you. So the fact 100%. That you are not letting that get to you no more, or you're not letting it get to you at least as much, is, it's commendable. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are still, a lot of people that are a lot older than you, a lot older than me, are still having problems with that.
I think it's
go ahead.
Also people's ignorance. You know what I'm saying? If they're not willing to, like, sit back and understand the thought process of what is behind what's going on,
right?
And, like, you can't fix you can't come up with a solution if you don't understand the root of the problem. If you don't understand why this happened or the chain of events that could have led to this, you know what I'm saying? There's always more to it. Like I thought, that's why I pay attention to fine detail, and, like, I work on fine detail, because that fine detail can make something great. You know what I'm saying? That fine detail could tune it and change, something, and make it into something way better. There's more to it.
Okay. Yes. 1,000,000% agree with that, man. So I want to get back into the music, and I want to ask you, first of all, I want to ask you, what was your first performance? What was that like for you?
You know what? That shit was actually crazy. Like, shout out my boy Eli. Shout out my boy Cobb, who's the Camp on Fire. Shout out Cobb, Garvey, Prince, Mazal, all them, and Mo and all them. Actually, my boy Eli was like, yo, there's an open mic, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, they're not taxing, you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you come out and perform? Like, you got really dope songs out. Like, why don't you come and perform? And so I met up with my boy Eli and my boy Jake and Speedy, and we went out there. And I went, and, like, I told Cobb, this was my first time meeting my boy Cobb ever, and I was like, yo, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never performed, but when shit hits the fan, I'm gonna execute. And I remember, like, I did one song. My song's Desert Demon, actually, because I was like, what song could I perform and people really feel that shit? Like, this would be the song I would go with, you know, at that time. And I remember, like, they were just doing a freestyle session, and my boy Eli passed me the mic, and I just start spazzing the fuck out. And everybody's like, whoa, who the fuck is this dude? A white boy who can rap? Like, oh, shit. Like, then people started tuning in. And then when I performed, shit went crazy. Like, I remember I performed Desert Demons, people heard the beat, and then they heard me start spitting, and everybody was like knocking, bro. And then, like, it's not like the bars were flying over people's heads. People were in tune. I had this bar. I said, I do the TK and let the K spray, put a price in your head like layaway. Everybody was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, it was just crazy, bro. Like, people were that in tune, and that shit was crazy, you know?
Yeah, wow. The bars that you just spit just now, it sounds like you're pretty lyrical, man. I'm already pretty impressed. Like, you know, when it comes down to your lyricism, like, who's your biggest inspiration?
So it sprouts from multiple things. I like kind of just took parts of people's game or rapport or whatever you want to call it, and just kind of, and like, so like my top 5 personally, not who I think is the greatest of all time, my personal favorite, like Tory Lanez is my number 1 favorite rapper. Wow. I know that's kind of crazy to a lot of people. Yeah, bro, that Lost Cause project changed my fucking life, bro. Like, that whole project, wow. that mixtape, like, when I got out of jail, that was like the first mixtape I heard. And I remember hearing that song Priceless, and everything he said, bro, was like, I felt that shit. It was like, he said, Miss Thomas told me I would never be nothing. I looked at her dead in the face, told her I'm going to be something. She said in a few years I'll be catching the buses. Now I'm catching the car service. Guess who was driving? Her husband. That shit is priceless. I was like, I could be there. I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was kind of where it sprouted from. Number 2, though, was Griselda. Griselda is probably my biggest lyrically, and just everything I do. Like, Tory Lanez and Griselda are my biggest inspirations. Like, you know, yeah, like, I'm a big Griselda fan. Number 3, Schoolboy Q would be up there for sure. Number 5, King Los would be up there. You know, I would throw Jay up there, obviously. Biggie, Wu-Tang Clan. You know, I would throw, you know, Ace Hood up there. I would throw, you know, Meek up there. I would throw my boy Young Weston up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just
great choices.
Pusha T's top 5 for sure. Like, I'm a big Push fan. Like, super big Push fan.
Wow, that's an amazing. You know, well, you name more than 5. You name at least 10. That's an amazing top 10 rappers that you just named, man. Amazing. That's an amazing category. And of course, like you said, some people might look at you sideways because you said Tory Lanez, but at the same time, you know, people need to look at a person's music and not look at a person personally and what they've done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that you can separate their personal life from their musical life.
100%.
Yes. So I want to also ask you, you know, you mentioned with Dream Demon or the Desert Demon, excuse me, I'm sorry, Desert Demon, that the beat hit as soon as you start performing it. So I want to know, who produces your songs?
So that beat, so I have a couple different producers I work with. That beat I found off of YouTube. I just got the lease for it.
Okay.
But you know, my boy Combat, he produced Killazona, my latest track. That beat's fucking crazy. My boy Garvey, he actually we're working on a song. We got a song called Parabellum coming out. It's fucking nuts. Like, my boy Combat, my boy Garvey, my boy Cosmic produced a little bit for me. I kind of just, whatever I like, if I can get my hands on it, I'll get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily just work with one person, but if I mess with a person, I'm going to bring something to them and say, yo, can we make something like this? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did with Garvey and my boy Combat. My boy Combat, I brought, because I was like, I listened to a lot of like Buffalo, New York shit. You know what I'm saying? I listened to a lot of Griselda, that whole camp. And my boy, I remember I played that song, Rubber Bands of Weight by Benny the Butcher for him. And he goes, I think I can do something similar. So and I remember just him playing. I remember I was just doing a session with him just to record. And he goes, yo, I got something for you. And I go, okay, we'll play it. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to everything. If I like it, I like it. If I'm not fucking with it, I'm not fucking with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he played it. And I just remember hearing the beat going like, oh, it's fucking over. Like, I just remember hearing the beat, like, I'm gonna spaz out on this shit. Like, I could just hear myself just going crazy on it. You know what I'm saying? Like when Jay-Z heard that 99 Problems beat for the first time when Pharrell played it. Like, that's how I felt. Like, with my boy Combat, just in his home studio, like, oh shit, like, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those feelings. Like, that's the only thing I could compare it to.
Wow, man. That's really, you really gotta send me the link so I can hear some of these producers' songs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like, from what you're telling me, they sound pretty dope. So I also
my boy Combat's in the chat, so y'all go check him out.
Yes, definitely.
And Garvey in the chat too, so definitely go check him out.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna check him out right after this interview. So I want to dive into something else. When it comes down to other avenues, do you want to dive into anything else like acting? Do you want to, pursue entrepreneuring? Even like, do you want to even pursue like dipping into singing or anything like that?
So it's crazy. Like, I'm already dabbling in that. I actually just started a brand. I own it and everything. I got the trademarks. I got my logo made. I haven't really like put too much out about it because right now I'm formulating and I have a plan, and I'm the type of person that I'm not gonna do nothing if I'm not 100% ready to execute. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? But I got a brand called Killazona coming out. That's the name of it. Logo's done. Shout out my boy Ray the artist. And shout out my boy Combat actually did it digitally for me. And I got a clothing brand coming out, and eventually, like when I really get that bag, like I want to invest in like a lot of franchises just to get some residual income coming in. I want to, entrepreneurship's definitely one of them. I'd like to have a label eventually, but I'm only going to do distribution deals because I don't want nobody's masters, because at the end of the day, music shit's bigger than that. I'm not here to extort nobody. I'm here to eat just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I love this I don't like music. I love this shit. You know what I'm saying? I put a lot of time, effort, and money into this shit. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a scumbag, Doug. So I'm not out here trying to extort people. I'm out here just trying to be great.
Wow, I love the fact that you just said, you just spit bars just now. You just said, I don't like music, I love music. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, there's a lot of art. You could tell when an artist just likes what they're doing, and you could tell when an artist loves what they're doing. You know what I mean? You could tell when an artist is just doing it for the money and the fame. You could tell when the artist is doing it because they passionately want to do this shit, And I want to ask you, speaking of which, what do you think is missing today in hip hop? Like, what do you think is missing?
I think there's a couple things missing. And there's multiple people. It's not just one person. There's a lot of motherfuckers. I think individuality is missing in the game right now. I feel like everybody want to be someone else. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody wants to everybody wants to be sound like they from the South, or everybody wants to fucking, be Lil Baby, or everybody wants to be Young Thug or Nav or whoever it may be. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of people that love the game, but they, a lot of people don't have an identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want, there's no problem with making music like somebody else, but if you're gonna do the shit, make it you, dog. Because at the end of the day, you're putting in that work. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's that simple.
That makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Because back in the 90s, there was way more variety. You know what I mean? You could bounce from, LL Cool J. You could bounce from LL Cool J to Tupac. You can bounce from Tupac
to Mobb Deep to whatever.
To Mobb Deep. And then you can bounce from Mobb Deep to, like, you can go way west and go to, like, A Tribe Called Quest. You know what I mean? Like, you could dive deep into completely different, I wouldn't say, genres, but I'd say, like, just different styles. And everybody was just so set apart from each other. And like you said, even the lyrical rappers like Nas and Jay-Z, who are like pretty similar to each other, they even stood out in their own ways. You know what I mean?
Of course, because I just think people, and I can't just blame people like that too, because like I understand people's situations. They trying to get money and eat just like everybody else. So I can't knock that person if it's working for them. Cool, dog. But at the same time, there's going to come a point in time where people are going to get sick of that shit because you're like, are you going to do anything else? You know what I'm saying? Like I think people, there's two sides of the spectrum. One side is like, yo, you biting. The other side is like, yo, I can't be mad at you though because you getting money and you taking care of your people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
I can't knock you for that. I can't knock you for getting your way out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that 100% makes sense, man. So I want to ask you, I did ask you what's missing in hip hop and, what could be different, but I want to ask you, what are you bringing to the table that's different?
I think my realness, number one. I think number two, my knowledge of the game. I think my lyricism's crazy. I think that my work ethic is unmatched. I think my just the way I move and the way I do things like is just I work different than most people. I think different than most people. So it's like, and I be getting mad sometimes because I'm like, why don't they just do it this way? Like it seems so much more efficient. But I gotta understand a lot of people don't think like me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't move like me. So I can't get mad at those people at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I have to understand, sit back, like, look, sometimes people are just on different wavelengths. You know what I'm saying? Not to knock anybody. You know what I'm saying? But like some people are just on a different type of time. You know, people
That's
have different
true.
priorities and qualities at this time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think I bring a piece that's actually that actually plays into my rap name, Perkz the Amenity. I actually got my name Perkz from knocking somebody out, and my boy was like, "Oh, you knocked that boy out like some Perkz," and that just stuck. But I added the amenity because I know I'm good at what I do. I know I'm great at what I do. I'm an amenity to this rap game. Like I'm a privilege to this rap game because I put in the work. I studied the game. I learned it. You know what I'm saying? Because before we're an artist, we're a fan, a student, and then an artist. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know your shit before you can do what you do. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely do, man. You definitely do. Thank you, Cobb. I appreciate it. I will also ask this, man. Like when you described your hustle, you described that you grind and you work really hard. So like, have you had a lot of like 4 o'clock moments or 2 a.m. moments where you just up writing or up recording?
A lot. Like just. Like you can even ask Cobb, like even after showcases, we out still trying to make money or we out still trying to network. Like there's been plenty of times where I'm out late as shit, got to work at 9 that next morning. You know what I'm saying? But like the loss of sleep was like, to me, is worth it because eventually I'm not going to have to worry about shit and I can sleep whenever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? Like Right now it's time for the grunt work. Like let's get this shit knocked out now and get all this bullshit, deal with all this bullshit now. So later down the road, we can relax. And be in a position that we don't got to deal with none of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely, man. Wow. And I love the fact that you have that delayed gratification because not a lot of people, like I said, not a lot of people have that. People want it now. People want things at the snap of a finger. That's why, I mentioned this in another interview, but I said that, when it comes down to people not having, delayed gratification, that's why people are scratching off lottery tickets. That's why people are, you know what I mean? Like they are going to places trying to get instant wins. That's why you got niggas, going to houses, robbing people, you know what I mean? Trying to get that money, trying to get that stash right now. So, there's a lot of people don't have patience,
100%. And I'm not a very patient person, but I see a bigger picture. I believe in myself and what I'm doing. I feel like a lot of people don't believe in themselves because they don't like what the fuck they doing. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, I don't feel bad for you, dog, because you could change your situation, but you're not. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to empathize for you when you're not even trying to progress at all? You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you got the keys in front of you or you have a plan of action or there's a blueprint that you could follow to make your plan of action. Like, I'm sorry, dog. Like, I can't feel bad for you, like, at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm coming off real arrogant, but, like, that's real. That's how I think. You know what I'm saying?
No, and you're not coming off arrogant at all. You're just speaking facts, You're not looking down on other people like I'm better than you or, I can rap better than anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you're not coming off arrogant at all. So I don't think that you're coming off arrogant. So I want to get into another subject when it comes down to music. So, like, how long does it typically take you to write a song?
So it really depends. Like writing is what I like really take pride in. Like I'm okay at freestyling, but when it comes to writing, like that's where I excel at. If I'm just doing a quick little verse, maybe 30 minutes. But like if I'm really writing, like I'll work on like a song for like a couple days till I feel like it's good enough, especially if it's my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like and just no matter what it may be, like shout out my boy Quan and True and my boy Cobb and all them, like they really help me push my writing because they know what the fuck I can do. So they're like, yeah, this is cool, but we know you can come up with some crazy shit. Like, come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit ain't a rush. Like, one thing I really used to do is I used to rush the process. And now it's like I took more of a step back and said, hey, let's make this shit great instead of putting out some bullshit.
Yes, exactly. And I love the fact that you take pride in your shit. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I'm investing time, energy, and money into it. I expect it to be great. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm doing it, fuck yeah, it's gotta be. I used to sell myself short a lot, and I'm not doing that no more.
No, don't ever sell yourself short. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that you're not selling yourself short. That's a blessing. And I do want to get into another question that I want to ask you. When it comes down to labels, if a label offered you a deal, you know, whether it's a major label like Columbia or Interscope, or like whether it's like an artist label like TDE, like would you sign to anybody?
The goal is not to. The goal is to stay independent. At the end of the day, I put in the work to get here. So why the fuck am I gonna let anybody else get into my pockets? The only deal that I would even think about signing is a distribution deal, because at the end of the day, I refuse to give up my masters.
Yes.
And two, why can't I do it myself? I'm already doing it. You know what I'm saying? Not at that scale yet, but if I work hard, you know, say if I can continue to progress like I have, then the shit's gonna come. I just gotta hold it down.
Right. Exactly, man. You know, because when it comes down to being an independent artist, you know, it's grinding all day and sometimes all night. Sometimes it's 16 hours a day. You know, and when it comes down to, you know, doing your own shit, you have to grind, especially when it comes down to visuals, when it comes down to recording costs, when it comes down to, you know, everything. You have to pay for all of that by yourself. So, and signing to a label, yes, you get the benefit of not, you know, not coming out of pocket for that.
Yeah, it's
but,
a big ass loan though. You're gonna have to pay that shit back.
Yeah, exactly. You know, for the people out there, real quick, I just want to say, you know, I'm gonna make it brief. When it comes down to signing a record label contract, just remember that, you know, yes, they might give you $1 million up front, but then you got to pay all of them costs back. Let's just say that you only got like a 10% royalty rate. You know, if your album only managed to go gold, or you got a few gold or platinum singles, and with streams, you're not getting paid a lot for streams. Like, people got paid way more when they were selling physical albums. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you make a lot more from that. But when it comes down to, you know,
and when just it comes down to give the people a labels made $17 billion off of artists last year.
That's fucking ridiculous.
And guess what percentage those artists saw of that money?
How much?
12%, bro.
That's crazy. 12%. That's crazy. Yo, can I tell you something real quick? That reminds me of something. One of my first interviews that I did on this podcast was, you know who En Vogue is, right?
Who?
You know, do you know anything about R&B groups?
Kind of. See, R&B is kind of something new that I'm tapping into.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not super into the R&B side of things yet, but I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna say this. En Vogue, they were a multi-platinum group in the 90s, and they had several hits, several classics that they had. And the crazy part was, I interviewed one of the members, and she said that after everything was all said and done, they sold over 20 million records, and they only made 2 pennies a record. She said that, you know, despite all of the records that they were selling, like, that's fucking ridiculous. 2 pennies a record. And she said that she couldn't even afford a mansion, or she couldn't even afford a huge house with that.
100%.
Yeah, man. So, like, you know, the record label does try to, like, you know, fuck you over, and they think that if they give you fame, that, you know, that's enough to have.
The record label isn't designed for the artist to succeed. It's designed for the label to succeed.
Yes, exactly. Especially those, you know, those 360 deals that they have. You know, I don't know how much you know about a 360 deal, but 360 deals are the most dangerous record contract that you can sign, because they get a piece of everything. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, when it comes down to shows, have you done a paid show yet?
Not yet, no. But I've been consistently doing shows. Like, I understand right now it's not about the money right now. It's about building the brand. Like, the money's gonna come eventually, Doug. Like, it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing all right for myself right now. You know, I work a 9 to 5. You know, I hustle on the side. I got, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got shit in progress. But, like, right now it's not about it's not about the money. It's about building that brand so I can make that big fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 while you're still trying to, entrepreneur, and you're still trying to get your, entrepreneur stuff going, especially when it comes down to performing, because a lot of people like to bash your 9 to 5. But if you using that shit as a hustle, you know what I mean? You can go way
The
further.
9 to 5 pays the bills, but all the money I make from hustling and business goes back into it. You know what I'm saying? So I can continue to grow that without having to come out of my pocket.
Right. Exactly, man. So, when you talked about entrepreneurship and you talk, and things like that, and you're talking about, other sources of income. So, like, do you want to have multiple streams of income in the near future, or are you
100%. That's the goal. Because my goal is to build my brand for this next. I don't want to have to work next year. I want to be able to have enough money coming in residually. That way I don't got to fucking worry about nothing. If I could do like maybe a couple paid shows a week, fuck, I wouldn't work no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I need. Like, decently paid shows, like, that's all I need. You know what I'm saying? And I'll put in the work to make sure those tickets get sold so I can get those fucking paid shows. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man. And that's what's up, bro. So, like, you live out here in Phoenix, right?
I'm in, like, Tempe, Phoenix area, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been to Perkz?
You know what? My boy, so I haven't yet, and I'm actually going to go my first time tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to go perform my first time tonight.
Wow, that's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
I might be there, but I might not this week. I might just come next week.
Yeah. Well, I usually work on Wednesdays, so, but I got the time off so I could do this interview because I wanted to do this interview.
Thank you. Wow, you took time off of work so that you could do this interview and so you could perform at Perkz.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. That means that you just put in the work.
I worked a 10, 12, 11-hour shift yesterday so I could take the time off today so I could do this shit because this shit matters. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely,
man. I slept probably 4 hours last night, and I said, fuck it, go to work in the morning, knock this shit out, leave, come home, do the interview. You know what I'm saying? And
wow, man. I'm kind of perplexed that you took the time out of your job to come here and do this interview. But at the same time, like, from what you're telling me about your hustle and about your grind and the things that you're willing to sacrifice, it also tells me a lot about your character, and it tells me, a lot about yourself and how serious you take this. And I'm really, I really admire that, man.
I appreciate it, man. I do what feels right to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what logically and whatever my intuition, because I got a good intuition. I got a good gut feeling. And when I say something, when something feel right, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with that. When it don't feel right, then I'm gonna step back a little bit and observe the situation.
Yes, definitely, man. So I want to ask just a couple more questions, and I'm gonna let you get up out of here. All right? You've been great so far. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it. I like shit like this. Like, I watch a lot of interviews, and I'm element. I wasn't really nervous coming into this.
I think we lost you a little bit.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, you bluffed it for a second. I lost you.
Yeah, I just, like, I wasn't really nervous coming into this. Like, I wanted to, like, I have a gift for gab. Like, I like talking to people. So, like, I was more excited about this. I was like, man, I can't wait to get off work to do this interview, man. Like, I can't wait to, you know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to this music shit and just business, I love talking about it and trying to learn. Like, not only are you picking my brain, but I'm picking your brain to try to learn shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an equivalent exchange, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, exactly, man. And like I said, I love the exchange of information. I learned something, a little bit of something off of every single interview that I do. So that's why I really love doing these interviews, because, some people taught me some stuff and gave me some life lessons while I did this. You know what I mean? Like, if you check back at some of my IGTVs, like not just my IGTVs, but me on Spotify, like, some people have taught me valuable lessons that I still take with me,
100%. It's just like, I feel like when great minds come together, great shit happens. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Yes.
Whether you're a fucking multi-platinum artist or, you got a crazy following or whatever it is, like, a simple conversation can lead to something great,
Yes, definitely, man. Definitely. And I only got 2 more questions to ask you, and unfortunately, we do got to wrap this interview up.
Hey, I'm all for it, big dog.
So for one of the final questions I got to ask, so, like, name for you, like, what's your goal in the next 3 to 5 years?
The next 3 to 5 years, my some long-term goals will be obviously I plan on being a platinum artist.
Okay.
2, I
That's
plan on
achievable.
being an independent platinum artist. 3, I plan on having multiple franchises as well, and having a brand that's really moving. I plan on buying a house and opening up my own personal studio. I got a lot of shit that I want to do that's achievable if I put in the work for it. I plan on being able to have people around me, you know what I'm saying, create businesses with friends of mine and people that I take serious, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely, man. Definitely. So, the final question I do want to ask you is, when it comes down to other people that want to do this, do you have any advice to anybody who is an artist who is just now starting out and are just, really nervous about getting on stage and recording? Like, what kind of advice do you have for those people?
Well, number one, I'll start off with find what genre you love and monetize it. Learn how to monetize it.
Yes.
Number 2, I would say, fuck the bullshit. You ain't gonna know who you are until shit. Adversity creates greatness, and the hustle creates.
You bluffered again. So
Can you hear me?
repeat your answer to your question.
I said number 2 would be, you don't really know who you are until shit hits the fan. You know what I'm saying? Adversity creates greatness. You can't, like Big Sean said, you can't break. There's no room to grow if you don't break nothing down. You know what I'm saying? And like, screw what other people says. Do you? And if it's not working, figure out another way to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want this, do your research. Put in the time. Put in the effort. Put in, your hustle will say everything about you.
Yes, definitely, man. Thank you so much for doing this interview, bro. I really
no problem,
appreciate
man.
it.
Anytime, man. I really enjoyed this, bro. Like, I like having these conversations a lot, I appreciate you just giving me the opportunity to be on here, bro. That shit means a lot to me.
Yes, it means a lot to me too, bro. Definitely. Jimmy, the slut says makes spit bars in the back of Costa.
Yeah, I used to work at a Mexican restaurant, bro, and I used to just rap. And I used to be a cook, bro, and I would just be back there rapping. That's my dog.
That's what's up, bro. What's up, man. So, I'm going to let you get up out of here. Thank you so much once again for doing this interview.
Yeah,
and
no problem.
Yes, definitely. And you guys will see this interview on Spotify within the next 2 to 3 days.
Hey, I'm all for it. I can't wait to listen to it.
Yes, and I can't wait neither, man. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You have a good day, boss man. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, bro.